Hello, everyone. My name is Viridiz Miranda. I'm a SciComm intern at EarthScope Consortium. Here I have Asif Ashraf. He's a graduate student and in the OutCloud RAM program of EarthScope Consortium, and I'll be interviewing him today. Hi, Asif. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing good myself. So, Asif, I heard that you're a graduate student. Could you talk about how did you get to know about your graduate program, what you do as for your research, and what cool experiences have you done so far as a graduate student?
So I'm the graduate student of geophysics at the University of Oregon, and before that, I started my master's in geophysics at University of Nebraska Lincoln. So I kind of knew the world of geophysics research and different graduate schools, and mostly I worked on Cascadia subduction zone in my master's. So I was looking for different projects on Cascadia subduction zone, and I found one. Then I emailed professors at the University of Oregon, and from that point, I am continuing this sort of research journey. In terms of like cool things, being a graduate student in geophysics, especially a graduate student in earth science, allows me to travel to a lot of cool places. That I would say the most cool thing, studying geophysics, particularly earth science. I went to Galapagos Islands and like also different exotic places, which probably I would never be able to do that if I was not a earth science graduate student. Yeah, so that's my like the most cool thing from my graduate experience.
Oh, that's awesome. And which places do you like the best of all of
Um,
them that you traveled so far?
I'm gonna say I like Oregon best because I'm living here, but I'm maybe biased. But I like the nature of Oregon so much that I really like living here, and I like traveling to different places of Oregon. And like you can just drive half an hour distance from my home city, and you can go to like different waterfalls, like you can hike different mountains. So and I really like to be in the nature, so I'm gonna say Oregon is the best place. Yeah.
I full on agree. I love Oregon myself. Never been there,
Hmm.
but I would like to sightsee and see the geology overall. Do you
Hmm.
consider yourself more a field geophysicist or more into hard coding geophysicist? Because in geophysics, there is a realm of being into field work and being into
Yeah.
computing and hard coding, and then you have the geophysicists that do a little bit of both. What do you consider
Yeah.
yourself as?
So as a graduate student, most of my time I do hard coding. Most of the time, I do data analysis. Then I do high performance computing with all the different data. But the reason I'm able to do that because I collected, or we as a team collected a lot of data in the Cascadia subduction zone when I started my geophysics research career. And so we collected the data for like 1 month. We deployed over 700, 800 nodal seismometers. I went to different fields. I went to like drove to different mountains, different beaches to install the seismometers. Then I have sort of all the data from that experiment. Now I, use that data to build up different tomographic models, which the most of the work that I'm doing now. So once that field part is finished, then I, from that point on, not so much about the field work, but just crunching the data, making different models, doing different analysis. So mostly the analysis side, I'd say.
Would you say that the post processing data, or is the how you get all your you retrieve all your data, which process is more challenging?
So because we use the seismometers from Pascal, which is a EarthScope data center. Now we got the data from them in a hard drive. Then we had to convert into different data type so I can pick those datas. So it's a if I want to say processing and analysis of the data is I think is harder than just installing some seismometers over in different ranges, and it's not so much more fun because you're just in front of your computer doing all this. But it's funny in its own way, but not so fun if you compare it to the field activity where you can go different places and install seismometers.
Oh, that's awesome. I currently work as a geophysical analyst at the Puerto Rico Seismic Network. I
Hmm.
have not experienced still installing a seismometer, but I have with doing geophysical surveys with geophones
Hmm.
and with seismic nodes,
Yeah,
which are really fun.
yeah,
And
yeah,
doing the post processing data and seeing those waveforms, that's awesome.
yeah. That
I
is
really
awesome.
do enjoy it. Which programs do you use in order to process all this data?
I mostly code it myself. So I do tomographic modeling. So first of all, I take all these FCNT data, convert it to MSED. Then from the MSED, I mostly convert to SEGY. It depends on the shot and receiver geometry that I'm using. So right now, I'm developing a high density or high resolution tomographic model of Cascadia subduction zone. And for that, I need to have a lot of different, combination of stations and the shots, so I can like cover the whole region. So I convert the data with mostly coding with MATLAB and Python combined. Then I do the tomographic modeling, which is also coding, but that's like code set up by a professor here. So I have access to the code. I just use that code to make the model.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm trying to learn myself Python, but on Google Colab, not in a terminal. And I'm
Hmm.
also learning how to do a virtual machine, and it's been quite an experience.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is.
I
Yeah.
come from a geochemistry background, and
Hmm.
for my master's research, I switched more into geophysics, so I'm still learning on how to code many things. But that's pretty cool
Hmm.
that you do seismic tomography.
Yeah.
And also, another question of mine is how did you find out about the iCloud RAM opportunity at EarthScope Consortium, and what did you find it about so interesting when you applied?
So first of all, I kind of knew about the on cloud, cloud on ramp internship thing before. I know that they offer student career internship each year. I knew that before, but each year my professors say that you don't need to do any internship because you're going to do RA. You're going to be employed as a research assistant because you need to do research. But uh, I am in my fourth year and I'm going to graduate very soon. So I think I was thinking uh, going into an internship would be valuable from the perspective of like career thing, networking thing, because we're not taught of most of this basic stuff in the graduate school. So I thought applying here would teach me some of the valuable skills that I need to transition from from an academic side to more of like a applied side, or on in terms of career choice. Yeah. I sort of knew about these positions, and I choose the cloud on ramp internship because I was mostly intrigued on the cloud computing, how that works, because I know in future most of the research directions are data analytics. Most of these things are going into that cloud optimized data sets. So most of the servers are transitioning from their local big server into a cloud based server. So I kind of wanted to sit at the front row to watch how it happened. So and I was very fortunate to be accepted into this position so I can learn more about this cloud computing thing.
Oh, that's awesome. And what do you most like about it out of like coding and out of working on a cloud based program?
So what I'm doing now, I'm building different notebooks that which are going to be used in workshops, whether that will be asynchronous workshop or in-person workshop. So what I like most about it is thinking of how cloud computing is different than the local machine computing or the HPC computing that we're all used to, and I'm sort of like motivating. I'm making the notebooks from the perspective of motivating different people why they should switch their entire geophysics research workflow from the local thing to the cloud thing. Like this is worth doing. So most of my notebooks are designed in a way to motivate different people to move their stuff to the cloud because it is much more manageable and it is much more faster, which I have discovered. So you're sort of thinking from that perspective, building up different workflows and showing people why cloud computing is the future and why you should think about now rather than later about this cloud computing stuff.
I full on agree. My advisor tells me that cloud computing is amazing. You can
Hmm.
create notebooks, and then you could also like clone your notebooks and run it locally on your machine. That's also another
Hmm.
thing that you can do, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
My next question is, since you're working towards your career, you're also doing graduate studies, and this full on internship is giving you the experience that you are looking for. What advice would you give for students going into college or going into graduate studies and studying geophysics or any related STEM related field?
So one thing I would tell them, like, be passionate. Sometimes like the data crunching part or data processing part can be really tiresome, and because I do a lot of the things with coding, and with coding you need to be very persistent. You need to like keep debugging until it is done. So in order to have that patient, I would say you need to be passionate. So one way you can be passionate about the research that you're doing is to understand it completely. So not just do the stuff, but why I'm doing it and why it matters and how that works. Just understanding from that perspective gives you a lot of passion, and that will, I think, drive you into better work environment, I think.
I agree. As someone that's learning how to code, sometimes when you get like the red lines, you're
Yeah.
missing a comma or the syntax
Yeah.
is wrong, or
Yeah. Yeah.
for example, myself that I try to put bash
Hmm.
commands in a cloud notebook, which is not going to work because you're not working on a terminal. I
Yeah.
think you have to be very patient, but also be passionate
Hmm.
and not give up. Not give
Yeah.
up at all.
Don't give up. Yeah.
Aside from doing all of these cool things, what else do you do as your hobby or on your free time?
Um, in my free time, so I'm married. So in my free time, I try to go hiking with my wife. We go to different beach. Like Oregon has most amazing beaches. Again, I'm probably biased, but um, we go to different beaches, different mountains, and different waterfalls whenever we get the time. And I would say that's the most thing that we do in our leisure time.
I'm the same. I'm from
Hmm.
Puerto Rico, and
Uh-huh.
Puerto Rico
Yeah.
here we have a whole bunch of beaches, a whole
Yeah.
bunch of mountain ranges. We have karst in the north and Kaus in the south, and then we have batholiths and igneous
Hmm.
bodies, and I do that on my dime time too.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool.